What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jonathan with the Rideshare Panel, and today we're going to be talking about how to earn more money delivering for DoorDash. So, I'm going to start out with a couple tips that might be a little bit obvious to you guys that have been driving for a while, and then I'm going to get into the real good stuff, some tips that you would not know unless you've been driving for a long time. So I learned a few of these myself after having driven for 3 months, and I've also talked to some DoorDash drivers that have been driving for a couple years, and so these are tips that you really only know if you're a veteran. So make sure you stay tuned till the end of the list and get all of these tips in. So the very first tip that we're going to talk about is driving during surge hours. This is kind of an obvious one, but if you're delivering DoorDash at all times of the day, you're not going to make as much money. If you deliver during lunchtime hours and dinner time hours, then you're going to get surge pricing, and it's going to add on an extra anywhere from $1 to $6, maybe even $10 per order if they push up surge pricing, which they've done a couple of times. This can dramatically affect your earnings. Make sure you're tracking all of your expenses. As a DoorDash driver, you are an independent contractor, which means you're responsible for paying all of your taxes at the end of the year, and you get to write off a bunch of expenses. So most tax professionals recommend taking the standard deduction, and that's about 55 cents per mile as a rideshare driver. But you also get to expense other business expenses that aren't related to your car. So you can write off part of your cell phone bill, health insurance if you pay for your own health insurance, any tolls and parking that you pay while you're driving. Another way to make more money delivering for DoorDash is to sign up with a referral bonus. Now I'm going to leave my link down below, and you guys can go ahead and use that if you haven't signed up already. It's an easy way to make either like $100, $200, sometimes even more after you complete your first 120 deliveries. So make sure you get mine down below before you sign up. Always accept batched orders. That means when you're already picking up one delivery and another customer order comes in, you can pick up 2 orders, assuming that those restaurants are close enough to each other. Now, some people stay away from these because they feel like it subtracts from the initial order that you're taking. You might be driving somewhere else and keeping that customer waiting, which is true. It could possibly lower your customer ratings, but in my experience, these batched orders don't come through often enough to have a negative impact on your customer ratings, so you might as well accept them and get up the number of deliveries per hour so you can increase your hourly wage with DoorDash. When you're driving during surge times, make sure to set your dash time for the shortest window possible. Usually I go for 30 minutes to 1 hour. That way, as soon as I hit my 2 deliveries, I can check out and lock in that surge bonus. So a lot of people do this a different way. They'll sign up for longer dash times and then they will end their dash early. But this can potentially get you deactivated, so the safest way to possibly go about this and lock in as much surge bonus as possible is to just set shorter times and then sign back on and start a new dash if you need to. Be aggressively friendly when you're dropping off your orders. So for whatever reason, DoorDash customers a lot of times feel like they don't have to tip, and I know this because I've also delivered for Amazon Fresh, and those customers seem to tip a lot compared to DoorDash. DoorDash customers, for whatever reason, I'm handing them their order and they turn sideways and as if not to recognize that I'm a real human being and avoid that contact so that they don't feel guilty when they don't tip me. My response is to be in their face friendly. If you ever heard the phrase, kill them with kindness, this is kind of what you're doing. You want to be as friendly and as human as possible and be very outgoing about it. Make them feel bad for not tipping you, and that will dramatically increase your tips. It's worked for me, and it's increased my earnings with DoorDash significantly over my second month of delivering with DoorDash. Don't accept deliveries that are a long distance away from the restaurant, or if the restaurant's a long distance away from your house. This is going to really add up your expenses and cut down on your total earnings after you pay those expenses. So if you're driving during a surge pricing time, you're expected to maintain 80% of all rides and accept 80% of those offers in order to get that bonus. That means that 1 out of 5, every 5 offers that comes your way, you're able to decline. So those offers that are a really far distance away from you, you should definitely be declining to keep your expenses as low as possible and to get up your number of orders per hour. If you're not driving for multiple rideshare options other than just DoorDash, then you're doing yourself a huge disfavor. Driving for DoorDash can be a great way to make money during certain surge pricing hours, especially during dinner time and lunchtime, but other hours of the day can be really slow. So I recommend picking up another app like Amazon Flex and using that to deliver blocks during the day when you're guaranteed about $20 an hour. I hope these tips have been helpful. If you have any other tips, leave them down below in the comment section. Also, please feel free to weigh in if you've used any of these tips that I mentioned and what works for you, what doesn't work. I'd love to get a conversation going. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. There's going to be tons of great DoorDash info other ways to maximize earnings, and other side hustles to earn more money as a rideshare driver.